Now, Governor Bob Ferguson announced on April 16th, earlier this month, that through the State Department of Commerce and the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, they were awarding nearly $56 million in grants to 74 early learning and daycare providers across the state of Washington. Now, they said that these grants would produce more than 2,000 new childcare spaces and advance high quality childcare opportunities statewide. Given all the scrutiny for DCYF and some of the stories we've been covering in recent months, we kind of pressed and said, okay, so I want to know more about the providers securing these grants. Why should they be giving them? Um, DCYF did not send me any response to my inquiry other than to say, here's the list of the providers, and then sent us to the governor's office. The Department of Commerce did respond, saying in part that because I pushed them on the whole fraud issue or the alleged fraud issue, saying, come on, you're providing these large taxpayer subsidies. People want answers. People want to know that these are not fraudulent providers and recipients of our tax dollars. And they did respond and basically say that, to qualify, they have to commit to continuing to provide services for 10 years. We follow through with these organizations. Don't worry about it, kind of a thing. And then they also sent me a follow-up response. We're going to put this graphic up on the screen because I pressed further and said, why can't we get the names of these providers? This is our money. And the response I received says the Public Records Act protects sensitive personal information of certain vulnerable individuals, including family child care providers, pursuant to 1501. This is a revised Code of Washington. Now, in order to ensure this information receives the appropriate review, the best way to proceed is to submit a public records request. And this came from Amelia Lamb at the Department of Commerce. Basically, nothing to see here. We protect them. We can protect them. Here's why we need to protect them. And you should, submit a public records request if you want more information. We've done so. We'll keep you updated. Also, my colleague TJ Martinell interviewed Senate Minority Leader John Braun, who's running for Congress, about this very issue and this subsidy request.
Yeah, it is. On one hand, it's kind of stunning that they would say that, but on the other hand, it's not really that surprising. And look, this whole thing with childcare fraud became a hot issue a few months ago, especially like folks were focused on Minnesota. But we have had uh, complaints from inside the agencies. First, was originally with DSHS, and then with the invention of the Department of Children, Youth, and Families some years ago. It moved there, but we've had folks inside the agency tell us that they have concerns about fraud. This is no new issue. It's things that we push forward. Time tracking programs, other audits have been suggested for years, and the Democratic majority has sort of pushed to the side. I mean, I don't, and I don't have any special knowledge. I can't say definitively it's fraud's there or not fraud, but we certainly have credible uh, claims that is occurring, and it makes sense to me that we investigate these regardless. If there is fraud, there should be consequences. If there's not fraud, the public deserves to know at this point that their taxpayer money is being spent reasonably and responsibly. Either way, it deserves investigation, and this just adds fuel to the fire that the Democratic majority shouldn't be sitting on their hands doing nothing about this. It deserves attention. It deserves attention now.